What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Nice Catch Podcast. We're here to catch you up on all the latest football news and analysis. I'm Baden.
And I'm Hank. Today, we're going to talk about our NFL awards predictions. Keeping on the trend of NFL predictions, last episode, we did our playoff predictions. We did our first Super Bowl pick for Super Bowl 60. And then here, we're looking at towards that Thursday before Super Bowl 60 to the awards night. This is going to be a fun episode looking at MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. And then we'll look at the rookie awards for offensive and defensive, Comeback Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year. I'm looking forward to this episode. This will be some fun stuff with
absolutely.
The stars at the top again, but new names coming up too. So we'll see. Well, we'll see what happens this season, but I'm excited to see the takes that we have for this episode.
For sure. I think the awards it's always something that's kind of fun to predict, and there's always I can't remember exactly what our picks were last season, but I know I can almost guarantee you we didn't have Saquon Barkley being Offensive Player of the Year, or even being, for a little bit of the time, a runner in the MVP awards. So it's always fun. You never know what's going to happen during the season. And so this will be a fun episode to just throw some predictions out there, some statistics, and just things for people to watch for.
100%. So let's start. I don't remember how we did this last year. Actually, let's go backwards.
Okay.
Let's start at maybe the more boring, and then build up to the MVP.
Yeah.
Because if we start with the MVP, people are just gonna turn the episode off.
Exactly. No,
right?
we gotta keep y'all. We gotta keep y'all on here.
Like, who cares about Comeback Player of the Year? Like, what? Well, so let's start with Comeback Player of the Year. Then. Again, when you look at Comeback Player of the Year, there's generally just a few guys that it's a running between. Especially now that they've narrowed it to where it's mostly for injuries and not just for
bad season.
Yeah, a bad season. We saw with Joe Flacco. That's not the kind that they want anymore. I think probably because he won it over Damar Hamlin. And it's just sure, Flacco had a way better season.
But Damar Hamlin
Damar Hamlin had a much worse injury than Joe Flacco did. So, Comeback Player of the Year, I think the biggest guy in the running is going to be Aiden Hutchinson. Coming off of that just awful injury, and then coming back and likely picking up close to where he left off.
Yeah.
You look at some other guys. J.J. McCarthy, I think, has a good shot if he can play similarly to how Sam Darnold did in that Vikings offense. Having Comeback Player of the Year in the same season as you take your first real NFL snaps. Some other guys that have a shot. Christian McCaffrey. I just honestly worry about his career. Max Crosby has a great shot as well. And Tank Dell, if he can come back, I think he can make a run for Comeback Player of the Year. Baden, what do you think?
Yeah, I think on those last, or at least two of the last ones, I don't know, just off of what we've seen in the off season and what we saw at the end of last season, I don't know that Christian McCaffrey and Tank Dell will be at a point where they can really execute this season. Just with injury, I sure hope they can. I love both of those players so much. But just with the injury, I don't even know if Tank Dell will play. It probably not for the first bit of the season. And then Christian McCaffrey, there's just so many question marks there. But I think Aiden Hutchinson, I think also kind of like we talked about with Damar Hamlin, the extent of the injury, it was a gruesome leg injury. So I think the extent of the injury and then how quickly he was able to recover and be back at it, if he executes this season like we know he can, then I think Aiden Hutchinson is definitely a front runner.
Yes.
The front runner.
Yeah, the front runner, 100%. And I'm sure there's always other guys out there that we aren't thinking about. I mean, who would have thought that Joe Flacco? What if we'd put $5 on Joe Flacco? I don't even know what his odds would have probably been the farthest odds you could get. Like,
oh yeah,
no one's
absolutely.
going to sign Joe Flacco. And then he brings him around to the playoffs. next, let's go with Coach of the Year, and then we'll go with player awards or individual player awards. I have a tier ranking for Coach of the Year. And again, if you listen to the last episode, or that was last episode. Yes. You know what I'm thinking with the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think they're going to do. And so I have Sean Payton as the Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
which,
like
big turnaround from Russell Wilson.
Oh,
we were talking about
absolutely.
Sean Payton getting fired
Yeah.
with Russell Wilson. And then now, with the turnaround he's had with Bo Nix, the turnaround the Broncos offense has had, I think Sean Payton is the front runner right now. When you look at the Broncos offseason, when you look at he made kind of something out of nothing. Last year, I thought the Broncos were going to be a bottom 5 team. I did not think Bo Nix was going to turn out to be the starter that he is. But here we are, talking about Sean Payton as the Coach of the Year front runner for the Nice Catch podcast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that is just a crazy turnaround, just what has happened in a year. Because last season, we could have been slightly biased by us not liking the uniforms as well, maybe. But we talked about the Broncos being bottom 5, if not the worst team in the NFL. And clearly, we don't think that anymore as a team. But Sean Payton has done a lot because it's an overall young team.
Mm-hmm.
And so for him and being, we don't necessarily know what his career will look like. With coaches, they can coach for years and years and years. Age isn't as big of a factor. But he's been in the league for a long time. And for a couple of years there, it looked rocky. Mm-hmm. And so to see him be able to execute last season, and it looks like only continue to get better, the Broncos only continue to get better. He definitely looks good.
100%. That's tier 1. He's all alone there. Tier 2, another standalone. I have Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Harbaugh. We saw him win a national championship with Michigan not long ago, and then last season, just kind of first-year coach for that team, figuring it out. The Chargers have been in a weird spot the past few years, putting up good stats, but not winning when it counts.
Mm-hmm.
I think Harbaugh will turn that around. His culture, the way his team will play, their run game, I think will be really good, which is, again, a Harbaugh staple. And I think Herbert will jump back up towards the top of fantasy, or of not just fantasy, but all quarterback rankings again this year. So Harbaugh is number 2 for me.
Yeah, I think I had him last year. I think I had him at my number 1 or 2. But of course, like you said, like last year was just developing, getting comfortable, figuring out the team, figuring out just everything to do with being a first-year head coach. And so I think this year he's set up in an even better position to make a run for Coach of the Year.
Mm-hmm. And then tier 3, I have 2 guys here. I have Ben Johnson and Kellen Moore. Part of the reason I have Ben Johnson at 3, even though he was earlier this season, well, I guess technically it was, earlier this offseason, we talked about him as the best head coaching hire, up there. I just think that the Bears are a very big project, and so I don't know if he has really high expectations, and so he's just not in a great setup to win Coach of the Year, because if the Bears don't make the playoffs, that's kind of Ben Johnson not meeting people's expectations of him. Mm-hmm. And then guys like Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, and the other one that we'll talk about in a second have good chances as well. Kellen Moore is my other one. He's kind of the opposite. He's someone who there are very low expectations for the Saints. So if the Saints can make a run for the playoffs, then Kellen Moore has greatly exceeded expectations. I saw a video earlier today of him interviewing as a quarterback going into the draft at Boise State, and the coach telling him, dude, you're going to be a great quarterback coach one day, or you're going to be a great coach one day. And here he is, head coach of the Saints, when some of the guys in his draft class are still playing quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And just the mind that he has, going 50-3 in college, is just insane. And so he obviously has the winning pedigree in him. And so we'll see if he can bring that to the Saints and get Coach of the Year after being a great coordinator for quite a few years.
Yeah, and I think that's a good you didn't directly make this point, but with Ben Johnson and Kellen Moore, the Coach of the Year award, it rides a lot, and of course it's important because you're coaching your team, but it rides a lot on how your team executes and the players that you have. And so, definitely for Ben Johnson and Kellen Moore, both great coaches, if their teams don't execute, then, like you said, those expectations, especially for Ben Johnson, those expectations aren't met, even whether it's all on him or not, that bumps him down. And so it'll be really interesting to see, definitely with the Bears, because it's weird saying there's high expectations for the Bears.
Yeah.
But that's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out.
Let's go Defensive Rookie of the Year. We'll go defense, then offense for Rookie and Player of the Year. So Defensive Rookie of the Year, there aren't guys here that we'll talk about with Offensive Rookie of the Year who I just think will be absolute stars, which probably just means there's going to be an all-world defender this rookie year. I think with Micah Parsons here, people are like, J.C. Horn, all of these guys. Micah Parsons was, I think, unanimous Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Micah Parsons, Abdul Carter is who I have at number one, but then there's other guys like Shamar Stewart. If he plays out like he did at the Combine and not like he did at Texas A&M, then he can easily get Defensive Rookie of the Year. Those are my main two guys. Any comment, Baden? I have one sleeper I want to mention, but anything with the just kind of guys who are up at the top.
Yeah, no, I guess it is true. There's not like somebody or a couple people that it's like, oh my goodness, like these guys seem like they're going to be complete standouts. But I think Abdul Carter is put up in a great position to be really good, because with the Giants, number one, there's a lot of pressure on that D-line. So we're going to be seeing him a lot. With the teams that they're playing, the spotlight's going to be on the D-line, and so that could be harmful for his if he doesn't execute. But if he does execute, the eyes are going to be on him. And then also, he doesn't have just insane amounts of... He's not the only guy on that line. He's able to relax and not feel the pressure of being the only defender there. And so I think he's set up very well to really execute. And I definitely think Abdul Carter has a very, very good chance of getting Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I'm with you there that Abdul Carter has the best shot. Where he's set up and just the player that he is. Kind of opposite or similar to that, but on a different level, is Derek Harmon, who we talked about, defensive tackle for the Steelers. I think he's set up to have a really good season, but he'll probably be overshadowed by T.J. Watt and Highsmith and Hayward, those guys on the team.
Yeah, I'd say, like, for Abdul Carter, he has other good D linemen there, but they're not T.J. Watts, or like stuff like that. So he has the chance to be the best on that D line, or at least be the spotlight to be on him. I think that's kind of like what we saw with why am I blanking on his name? He's on the Texans.
Will Anderson. With
Will Anderson, there were good linemen on the Texans D line, but he, like, as the rookie, he was able to play and show out to be the best on that D-line. Yeah. But the pressure wasn't all on him. So he was able to play loose, I guess.
Yeah, that's a great point. Will Anderson was in a similar situation and also third overall.
Yeah.
So my sleeper of the draft for Defensive Rookie of the Year is Malachi Starks. I talked last year just about how scary the Ravens are going to be. And when you have a pass rush as good as the Ravens, who, of course, they're not where the Eagles are, where the Steelers are with their pass rush, or even the Vikings and Lions. But the Ravens have a great pass rush, which makes their secondary better. We saw that with Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell last year. And I think Malachi Starks, him and Kyle Hamilton getting to play together, will really boost Malachi Starks' stats because he'll get great tackles and interceptions, and he'll get to play where he's comfortable. And I think Malachi Starks can be one of the rookies with the greatest impact. Of course, he's a safety on a team that already has a good safety and a good defense around him. So he probably won't have the stats that a lot of players have, but I just want to throw Malachi Starks out there as a sleeper. Well, let's go rookie, or we're talking about rookies.
Yeah.
Offensive rookie of the year. And I think there's a pretty clear number one here. Baden, who do you think that pretty clear number one is?
Absolutely Ashton Jeanty. I don't think there's another person that besides maybe Shooter Sanders. I don't know if there's another person that can be up there. I mean, Ashton Jeanty, second runner up in the Heisman. Questionable decision there. Yeah. But, I mean, he puts himself up in the perfect position just with his athleticism and his just grit to be the offensive rookie of the year. Mm-hmm. And the situation. He's not going to be sitting the bench. He's going to be on the field. He's going to be getting touches. He's going to be scoring points. So I think it looks really he's the runaway favorite right now.
Yes, 100%. As we talked about, you said with his situation, like he is going to be heavily relied on the Raiders. And so you look at his talent plus his situation, and the Raiders have faith in him. He's the second highest paid running back in the NFL as a rookie.
Yeah.
And so you look at how the Raiders already view him. This guy, of course, favorites a lot of times don't end up getting the win, but Jeanty is the huge favorite right now, as he well deserves.
Yeah.
There are a few other guys here. I'll talk about, I think, top wide receiver. Well, looking at the quarterback class, I don't think it'll be a quarterback because Cam Ward isn't in a great situation. Jackson Dart maybe won't start. Mm-hmm. Tyler Shuck, also not a good situation and not the prospect that these top guys are. But last year, I didn't even mention Jaden Daniels. I said Caleb Williams if it's going to be a quarterback, but it's probably not going to be.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Caleb Williams. So yeah. Cam Ward has a shot. I just think his situation is
tough.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. But Tetrella McMillan, I think, has a great opportunity to help Bryce Young be the quarterback we thought he's going to be coming out of college. And Matthew Golden has a great opportunity to be Green Bay's wide receiver one in a crowded wide receiver room. We talked about both those guys last episode, or 2 episodes ago with our fantasy episode. And then with running backs, my favorites are R.J. Harvey and Caleb Johnson. We talked about getting to lead the Broncos backfield and getting to run alongside Jaylen Warren with the Steelers. I think these are 2 guys who they have great talent, but you put them in really good situations for them to excel.
Yeah, and I think if the Broncos do what we've been high on, then I think R.J. Harvey has a very good chance. If the Broncos live up to the high expectations that we've thrown out there just the past episode, I definitely think that it could look good for R.J. Harvey, who's definitely, I think, would be a sleeper for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Definitely.
Yeah, and other than that, I have 2 other guys that are sleepers. Guys that, as rookies, aren't necessarily locks to start, but I think will be starting by the end of the season. One, Cam Scatterbo, I think, has a great shot to start week 1 even. Tyron Tracy was a great find for the Giants. Absolutely a sleeper. Who would have thought that he came close to 1,000 rushing yards? I didn't even know his name starting the season.
Yeah.
But Scatterbo, the Giants' offense is getting better. He's put in a situation where the team, we talked last episode, could be a sleeper. And just a name. He is someone that everyone loves rooting for. Obviously, Jeanty broke so many records, but Scatterbo was a fan favorite. Watching him against Texas, just watching him last season at Arizona State. And then my other sleeper is Jaden Blue. We've seen a Cowboys rookie running back win. Did he? I can't remember if he or Dak won Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think Dak did. But, like, if it wasn't going to be Dak, it would have been Zeke. Mm-hmm. Great rookie season. Obviously, we know how that played out. But the Cowboys running back room is crowded. I think Jaden Blue has a good chance to lead that running back committee. And their offense overall looks better. We saw them trade for George Pickens. They have CeeDee Lamb. And so that offense can sneakily be better than people think. and Jaden Blue has a chance to win this award as a sleeper.
Yeah, and I actually think I'm just looking at what we have for Offensive Rookie of the Year and thinking back on the past couple episodes, I think something that we haven't really talked about is that just thinking about the draft class, I think running back is probably one of the best, I guess, best positions in the draft.
In this draft class?
In this draft,
100%.
which is not, I don't think that's what we were expecting coming into it. I think maybe besides D-line, I think D-line would be maybe a close second. But otherwise, like running back, it is a deep position coming out of the draft, which, we talked a lot about quarterback and we talked about some good wide receivers, but I'm surprised at the depth that we got for running back out of this draft. And that's good. That is a good thing.
Yes. Before the draft, we looked at the top 4, and then the top 4 or 5 after that with the running back class. And I was, as you said, D-line was really good. Wide receiver had a lot of good prospects, but running back was one of the best groups. And then where they ended up is just perfect.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you think of quarterback classes, and you're like, I don't like where these guys ended up. It's not great for their career. It's not great for them now. But running back, pretty much all of them ended up in spots where I would have picked them to go. A lot of them. Obviously not all of them. But, yeah, I like what you said. Running back is just a really deep class. And I think a lot of that is because of the impact of Saquon and Derrick Henry. But last season, running back would not have been something we talked about.
No. It was talked about in a very negative way, honestly. Just being undervalued.
I mean, last season, I was talking about how I think the future of the NFL, this is something we could talk about a lot more later. I think the future of the NFL could be, but now that Saquon and Derrick Henry have made their impact, likely won't be. But could be that the running back is just another kind of wide receiver, tight end position to line up at. You have your big-bodied wide receiver line up in the backfield. You have your fast tight end line up in the backfield. Because people aren't going to want to play running back.
Yeah.
They're like, that's the injury-prone position. That's where you have a shorter career. I want to play receiver. I want to play tight end. I want to play quarterback. So I could see the running back position slowly being phased out. But again, last season put running back stock really high.
A lot higher.
And running backs are really fun to watch.
Really fun to watch. Oh, I got close to the mic for a second. Really fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Let's go to Player of the Year picks. We'll start with defense again. And I can have a hot take. Well, not a hot take for who thinks going to win, but a hot take for how good his season is going to be. I think TJ Watt will win Defensive Player of the Year for the 5th time. Let me fact check myself there. TJ Watt Defensive Player of the Year awards. AI overview says he's only won it once.
I know that's not right.
He didn't win it last year because Surtain won it last year. Anyway, I'll keep researching as I'm talking, but I think this season TJ Watt will break the sack record. He's tied it already. But you have obviously 17 games now, and you look at his defensive line, they're going to have to block so many guys. And of course, a lot of times if you're going to double team anyone, you double team TJ Watt. But their line is going to be so overpowering. And you even look at their division, you're not going to get a ton of sacks on Lamar. You're going to get a lot on Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a lot on whoever is playing in Cleveland.
Absolutely.
And so TJ Watt has a great opportunity for stats, and he's just one of the best defensive players of our generation. And so TJ Watt, I think, could be the runaway Defensive Player of the Year award. So he's all alone in Tier 1 for me.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much to add about that. He's just in the perfect situation. And with his athleticism and just greatness, I think breaking the sack record is not. If he tied it last year or last season.
A few years ago.
A few years ago. Yeah, like you said, with an extra game, I think his chances are very high.
Well, maybe he has only won it once. He's been a finalist 5 times.
Okay, he's only won it once.
That's actually crazy that he's only won it once. Because it's J.J. Watt that's won it. Let me change one letter in my Google search. J.J. Watt, I think, has won it 3 times. Yes, J.J. Watt won it 3 times.
Okay, and then T.J. won it
once. The only other players to win it 3 times are Lawrence Taylor and Aaron Donald. So
fair enough.
think about J.J. Watt and Aaron Donald had very similar times of their careers. Aaron Donald being a little later, but just the defensive stars that we had there. And T.J. Watt is older, but is still in his prime.
Yeah.
And Defensive Player of the Year, there's obviously so many guys that are stars. Myles Garrett, I mean, he's Myles Garrett.
Just the name itself.
Yeah. Again, the Browns' defense, I don't think is good enough that Myles Garrett can do a whole ton, but he's Myles Garrett, and they're coached by Kevin Stefanski, so you can never rule him out. Max Crosby is kind of the same. He's great, but he doesn't have a ton of people around him.
Yeah.
Opposite of Shamar Stewart, Trey Hendrickson, he also has the double team problem. Like, you're going to double Trey Hendrickson,
of course,
on every play probably.
Yeah.
When you look at the Bengals defense.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing, because Hendrickson he's an incredible D lineman, but it's just him on the line. And like Shamar Stewart could change that, but he does not have the freedom or the situation to be able to excel like a TJ Watt. It's always possible, and with the help of Shamar Stewart, that could change some things. But it definitely seems like with Hendrickson and the Bengals defense, he's not set up for success there.
Yeah, and of course there's other players. Aiden Hutchinson and Micah Parsons are the favorites right now. Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt are right with them. Those are the top 4. Interestingly, Will Anderson is 5th in odds right now. I would not have guessed that.
It's interesting.
Max Crosby, Nick Bosa, Jalen Carter, Jared Verse. Jared Verse is someone who's had a great season last year. We talked about him in our Defensive Rookie of the Year predictions. And I think he was a finalist. But I think a sleeper this year, again, is Cooper DeJean. If the Eagles' defense plays like they did, and DeJean keeps stepping up, then he can, break some records maybe, but at least make a name for himself even more and be a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. That's what I got for defensive. You want to go to offensive?
Yeah, offensive.
I think we talked about this last year. Just there being so many good wide receivers, and of course you can't rule out Saquon. Yeah, Saquon is set up to have just as good a season as he did last year, if not better, which is crazy.
Which is a funny thing to say.
He ran for over 2,000 yards.
Yeah,
and he didn't even play all 17 games.
Yeah, and he purposely cut some of his runs short, just out of sportsmanship.
Yes,
touchdown. He gave away some touchdowns, and didn't play all the way through.
Yeah. So you have to put Saquon there. Derrick Henry is similar. Like, those are 2 guys that have to be towards the top of the list. Saquon is at number 1 in odds right now for good reason.
That's fair.
Another running back I want to mention before talking about the star wide receivers, Jahmyr Gibbs. We talked about him in our fantasy episode, but he's set to lead their backfield again and just get so many yards, so many touchdowns, so many receptions. He's one of the best pass-catching running backs in the NFL. We've seen Zeke in past years. We've seen Saquon do a great job of this. But Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, is probably the best pass-catching back in the NFL, which is what you want to see today.
Yeah.
So those are 2 guys I want to mention. And then looking at wide receivers, it's pretty much the big 3. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. Jamar Chase, I think, is number 1 for me.
Yeah.
You just look at Joe Burrow. You look at the Bengals. They're going to have to score points. Jamar is going to have so many receiving yards. What if TJ Watt breaks the sack record? Jamar breaks the receiving record. You get these records set by, I think, Lawrence Taylor and Calvin Johnson broken in the same season.
Gosh.
Crazy.
That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to think about.
And what if what if they haven't released? Well, by the time this episode will go out, the schedule's been out for a long time. But what if it's Steelers versus Bengals week 18,
and both of them break it? Oh, that'd be insane.
That would be, amazing. Justin Jefferson can just put the team on his back.
We would need them both to. We need it to be, which probably it will play out as, is whoever wins that game goes to the playoffs.
Yes.
Because then they're bringing their A game. They're not sitting anybody. Oh, that would be so cool.
That's like,
please.
We talked about what Bucks Bills Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. That's like right there.
That's a dream last game.
Yes.
Yeah, have that be the primetime game.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yes, the Sunday night.
The Sunday night.
That'd be so cool.
Just because we've talked about it, I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed if that's not how it plays out.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Justin Jefferson, I mean, there's not much explanation there. Just kind of being the absolute number one on his team. Mm-hmm. He'll get a lot of yards. He's proven he can carry his team.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb has that factor, but after the Cowboys traded for George Pickens, he doesn't have to do everything. He won't be the guy that all the eyes in the defense are on him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think he has a great shot to win Offensive Player of the Year.
Honestly brings his odds up.
Yes.
Just and yeah, with the hard thing with Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb is just I think the quarterback situations.
Mm-hmm.
You just they obviously have good quarterbacks, and we're not exactly sure how it'll play out. But Jamar Chase, besides being Jamar Chase, just has a leg up on those two other receivers because Joe Burrow is gonna get the ball to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, that's a big factor for these receivers being Offensive Player of the Year, is how their quarterbacks are able to connect with them and execute.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Joe Burrow is in his own league with passing. And Dak is a great quarterback. He gets a lot of hate just because he's the Cowboys quarterback. Mm-hmm. And then J.J. McCarthy, we'll see. I have no idea how he's going to perform. I want to correct my stats, or my facts. Michael Strahan holds the sack record with T.J. Watt. Wrong Giants player.
Okay.
So it was the Giants,
but not
just a little more recent. Michael Strahan. So Michael Strahan's record and T.J. Watt breaking his own record. Which was set in 2021, so a few years back. A sleeper for Offensive Player of the Year is someone who came out of nowhere last year. We talked about last episode, but Bucky Irving. You look at the Bucs offense, we talked about one of the best passing games in the NFL.
Yeah.
And so if you have a great passing game, there's a good chance your run game's going to get overlooked. And they have a great run game with Rachaad White and Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving, I think, should be unquestionably their starter now with what he did last season.
Yeah.
So he'll get a lot of carries. He can even help out in the passing game. I think that Bucky Irving is a sleeper that all of you should be watching. Let me see. I don't even know where his odds are. He must be way down here. I passed Jawan Jennings and haven't seen his name.
Yeah, I guess he's just not a name that you think of directly.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Buccaneers, I think, is not always a team that you think of.
No, especially not their run game.
Yeah.
I passed Rachaad White. His odds are at plus.
Rachaad White's are higher than Bucky Irving.
Hey, I'm telling you, absolute sleeper. I would definitely give his odds a look. I scroll. Let me. What are Bucky Irving's Offensive Player of the Year odds? Plus 5,500. Okay, I must have just skipped it.
Oh, okay.
What? I don't know what that's according to. This is hard to find, but according to this, it's plus 5,500, which is middle of the pack. There are a lot of guys above him. There are a lot of guys below him in their odds. Okay, yeah, I just skipped him because he's really high up. Because he's above Josh Allen. He's above Joe Burrow, which, again, Offensive Player of the Year right now.
Yeah, not really a quarterback.
Yes,
award.
it's generally MVP's quarterback, and then Player of the Year is running back and receiver. But Brian Thomas is ahead of him. Nico Collins, Tyreek Hill, Devon Achane. Marvin Harrison Jr. is above him, which I would not be willing to say that right now. But just because I just said that probably means Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to win.
And then you're going to feel so embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
Definitely part of it. But again, there's guys like Bijan. There's guys like Puka. I think Puka has a great shot this season for kind of the CeeDee Lamb factor. But Bucky Irving's a sleeper that I think everyone should watch out for.
Actually, I think I picked Marvin Harrison Jr. last season in fantasy, like 3rd overall.
I mean,
like pretty.
People were talking about him.
Yeah, like pretty high up, and that did not play out. He had a couple good games.
Yeah,
fantasy points wise.
He's also on the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's go with MVP, and then we'll end it with looking at our picks from last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have yours. All mine are on the same document. We can just look at it.
I think I remember. I don't have mine with me because I have it in my green notebook, which is packed up.
Yes.
But I have. I'm almost positive that I remember my top 2.
Yeah. And I mean, I think once we start talking about it, it'll come back. But MVP, we've talked about the Bengals both sides in different ways. The Bengals offense a lot. I think Joe Burrow has a great shot to win MVP this year. And if I remember right, I don't think he's won an MVP yet, which is crazy because you look at the top quarterbacks. Mahomes has won a few MVPs. Lamar has won a few MVPs.
Josh Allen finally just won one.
I think Lamar and Josh Allen each have one.
Or does Lamar have MVP. Lamar only has one, or does he have 2
awards? Let me look at just the list. MVP awards NFL by year. So Josh Allen won last year. Lamar won. So yes, Lamar does have 2. You're right.
Okay.
And then Mahomes. Wow, Aaron Rodgers won MVP in 2021, 4 years ago.
Whoa.
And he won it in 2020. So
that's weird.
He has been at the top of the NFL relatively recently.
Yeah, that's really weird to think about.
Tom Brady won less than 10 years ago. Well, I mean, obviously he's the greatest football player of all time. But you look at less than 10 years ago, Matt Ryan.
Oh, what?
10 years ago, Cam Newton.
Oh, 10 years ago. That's weird to think about.
So
I remember that was the second Super Bowl I ever watched was Broncos-Panthers. Which saying Broncos-Panthers Super Bowl out loud
sounds really weird.
Sounds really weird. Maybe less weird now for the Broncos.
Yeah.
But saying that I've watched I've seen a Panthers anything, a Panthers playoff game.
The Germany game.
Yeah, besides the Germany game is weird.
13 years ago, Adrian Peterson.
Wow.
It's like just how quickly.
He's from Palestine. I think he's from Palestine.
He is. Yeah. He's from just close to where we'll be. But yeah, so the guys at the top, I mean, I think it's just the big 4 when you look at quarterbacks. Lamar, Josh Allen, Mahomes, and Joe Burrow. And then Jalen Hurts is kind of on the edge of that top group right now. I don't think he's there. I don't think he's that close as people think. But Joe Burrow is the one who hasn't gotten his MVP. I think if he would have made the playoffs last year, he probably would have won it, looking at his stats. And this season, I think he has a chance to just break so many records with his stats because they're going to need to score points.
Yeah.
So I think Joe Burrow should be, if it plays out like we assume, should be the runaway MVP favorite.
It's funny just to think about the fact that, like, when you think about some of the best quarterbacks or the best quarterback in the league, it's just funny that it's on such a bad team. Because you think a lot of, like, all the other 3 really good not such a bad team, a team that hasn't been able to produce.
Yeah.
Like you think about the other great quarterbacks, and they're on teams that at least make it to the playoffs and do well in the playoffs. At least when you look at the other 3, and then like otherwise, just a lot of the good quarterbacks are able to execute with their team somewhat well. But the Bengals, the defense, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, after that Super Bowl run,
Just
which is
kind of
crazy.
felt-
Like, the Bengals made it to a Super Bowl not that long ago.
Yeah,
And
two
we're really
years.
close to winning.
Three.
It was, I don't even remember at
Yeah.
all, because all I can think of is Chiefs when I think of Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
we made it to the last 3.
Mm-hmm.
But it was
So it would have been
like 4 Super Bowls ago.
yeah, 3 ago, because it was
Well, it was Chiefs, Eagles.
Eagles.
Chiefs beat the Niners. Chiefs beat the Eagles. So, or was it? Yeah, because it was right before the Chiefs beat the Eagles. So it was 4, because the Chiefs almost had a 3-peat.
Wait, hang on. I think it was Chiefs 49ers, and then I'm going a little far back, but Chiefs 49ers, and then Chiefs versus the Buccaneers.
That was I think that was before. I'm pulling it up. Well, this is how much we know about football.
No, you're right. Chiefs, Buccaneers, and then
it was right after Chiefs Bucks.
Okay.
Was Rams Bengals, and yeah, it was 23-20, and I think the best Super Bowl game we've had in a little while.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Chiefs Eagles.
it was close, but
The one more recently where the Chiefs won. It was a close game, and then but just I don't know, kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah.
And then Chiefs Niners was close overtime game, but also kind of anticlimactic. But Rams Bengals was a great game, and yeah, the Bengals were close, and now their defense just isn't there.
yeah, that was one of the harder games to like just know what to do with, because like on the one hand I was like Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, like I want those guys to get a ring.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, Aaron Donald. It's like I want those guys to get a ring. And on the other side, it was like it's the Bengals.
Yeah.
like that was when I was little, the Bengals were my favorite team purely because of the uniforms. I thought they were cool. And then it's like, but they were terrible when I was little, and then they were pretty much my entire lifetime they've been terrible except for that one year.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Yeah, that's fair. Hopefully they can make it back.
I think they can.
I think a Joe Burrow MVP is way more likely, though,
Then-
just based on stats.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, got a little sidetracked there.
Oh, hey, it's great. That's what podcasts are for. Just kidding. No, that's not true. But that's
a
what
fun
we're
part of
here
it.
for. It's just for fun.
Exactly.
But if we're looking at other guys, you can never rule out Lamar. You can never rule out Josh Allen.
Absolutely.
Mahomes, just you look at the offense around him. But he's Patrick Mahomes. You can't really ever rule him out.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jaden Daniels has made a name for himself up there too. He's not someone I'd rule out, but I don't think he'll quite be at the top where, as we said, the top 4 quarterbacks are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But a name that I don't want people to forget about is C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Last year had a really bad season,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of it was because of the line. A lot of it was because of injuries. But if he can play like he did rookie season around maybe a better roster, then I think he has a shot, depending on how the Texans do overall.
He's set up well. It just, obviously the offensive line is a big part of that. But, I mean, we see what Joe Burrow can do with his offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't think that's I think that's very possible.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it is. I mean, I love C.J. Stroud. Love the Texans.
Another name similar, Bo Nix. He doesn't have the roster around him. He doesn't have just great wide receivers. But if the Broncos actually do really well, and it's not just their defense, I could see him getting votes, but I don't think he's quite in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting, the MVP, you have to look at the situation a lot, because shouldn't it just be most valuable player?
Yeah.
But situation is what helps you win games, and if you don't win games, it's hard to call you the MVP.
Exactly.
But another name that I've talked about that I think is someone who has a good shot at MVP this season, which I may just be talking about this so much because it's so fun. I love talking about the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah.
You look at their wide receiver core. You look at how their roster has improved. Baker Mayfield has the opportunity to have so many passing yards this season to so many different targets. And look at their division. You look at where the Bucs could end up. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs could have an amazing season, and he can definitely get MVP votes this season. I see with the situations, Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield could be like Drew Brees and Tom Brady were in passing yards in the old days. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they're Tom Brady and Drew Brees,
no,
but stats-wise.
Yeah. You look at that just shootout, just back and forth between the two guys.
Yes.
I think that's very possible. I love Baker Mayfield and just the way he plays.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what we got for awards for this year. Do you want to just kind of look back and laugh at ourselves for last year?
Yes, I do. I actually think... I don't think that my picks were... One of mine definitely did not pan out. But I don't think mine were terrible last season.
Let me scroll. I have 45 pages of notes from our 23 episodes.
Let's see, what episode would that have been?
That was episode
4?
Oh, where are my notes? Some of mine are out of order.
3. That was episode 3.
Yes.
Yeah, your
right.
episode 4 is in front of episode 3.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's really weird. Anyway, MVP. I said CJ Stroud and McCaffrey. I think McCaffrey because I was like, the media is going to push for a running back MVP. They really didn't, and a running back might have actually deserved it, but it definitely wasn't McCaffrey. Of course, you can't really predict injuries based on his season 2 seasons ago. I thought that was kind of over, and the Texans did look like a super team, but again, injuries.
Yeah, I had, if I remember correctly, and y'all can quote me on this if you go back to the episode, but I think I had C.J. Stroud as my number 1. And then I want to say I had Josh Allen up there, but I can't remember. Mm-hmm. I definitely think C.J. Stroud, for me, was my front runner there.
Offensive Player of the Year, I said Justin Jefferson just because I thought he was going to put the team on his back. And he kind of did. Drafting him in fantasy was a great decision, but I didn't see Saquon coming.
Yeah. I can't remember what I put here. I want to say Christian McCaffrey, but obviously that did not quite work out with just injury.
Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year, I put Micah Parsons just because they had a lot of guys in the D-line. Obviously, Cowboys season didn't play out very well, and Parsons just didn't have a great season. I think he had 12 sacks last year, which is good, but not what we expected for Defensive Player of the Year. And then, of course, I just listed Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, and T.J. Watt. Didn't list Nick Bonito. Didn't list... I'm going to Defensive Rookie of the Year now.
You mean Patrick Surtain?
Yeah, Surtain. And there was another... I guess T.J. Watt is on there. But yeah, I didn't even think about Surtain. But now he's probably the best corner in the... if he won Defensive Player of the Year, he's the best corner in the NFL right now.
I think I had T.J. Watt as my front runner,
which is a good pick. That's T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. I put Marvin Harrison. I just looked at their wide receiver class and the Cardinals. Just him having the opportunity to be the number 1 option for a pretty good quarterback. And then I listed Keon Coleman, Ladd McConkey, and Xavier Worthy just for similar reasons. And then I said if it's going to be a quarterback, it's Caleb Williams because of his wide receiver core.
Yeah.
Didn't think about Jaden?
I can't even remember what I put for this. I wish I had my notebook with me. But my guess would be that I said Caleb Williams just because I was assuming that with all the just media hype around him that they would be pushing for that. But I just cannot remember.
Yeah, and it is funny that we both talked about Caleb Williams because we both said Jaden Daniels should be the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And then didn't back him once he wasn't.
Yeah. No,
so,
boo-hoo on us. We needed to step. We needed to put our money where our mouth was.
Yeah, definitely. We hyped up Jaden Daniels and then just left it in this episode.
Yeah.
So come on, we almost had it. Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. My top picks were Quinton Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, and I think DeJean did win it. If we're looking at postseason, he definitely did. I think he was Defensive Player of the Game in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I was hoping that he would get Super Bowl MVP. Just with, obviously, I figured it would go to Jalen Hurts or Saquon, but I was like, if a defender is gonna get it, Cooper DeJean could get it with his, 2 picks and a pick 6.
I don't remember who all, but I was wrong. Jared Verse did win, but Jared Verse was the next guy listed. Just if you look at the Rams D line has done, and Verse being their first round pick. I mean, replacing Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
So, but these 3 guys were all really good. So, those are the picks that I'm the most proud of. Was my defensive rookie of the year pick. Once you start going farther down the list,
then it starts to. The next one is a little rough. I do remember looking at defensive rookie of the year and just not really being sure. I really didn't know what to go with there. I wasn't kind of like with this season. I saw a lot of them and I thought they'd be good, but I didn't have anybody that really stood out to me as, they're going to really excel. And clearly, at least, I mean, these 3 guys did excel. And so, yeah, I don't know that I'm sure I threw out a pick, but I don't think I was super confident with any of the guys.
Yeah. I was looking back at last year's awards, and I went to look at Super Bowl awards. Like, what am I doing? Anyway, comeback player of the year. I don't know why I didn't list Joe Burrow, because he obviously won it. I listed Aaron Rodgers as my number 1 pick. I mean, you look at what he's coming back from. Torn Achilles makes him miss the whole season. Coming back, the Jets looked like a good team. I mean, before they actually started playing football. But, and then I said maybe Russell Wilson, maybe Kirk Cousins. Yeah, none of those played out. Russell Wilson had a good season, but he also didn't get injured. Didn't think about Sam Darnold. Although I talked about how Sam Darnold was going to be better than people thought. Didn't list him here.
Yeah.
So, not good on me.
I think that I actually put Bryce Young for this.
I remember this.
Not thinking about injury, but just thinking about coming off of kind of letting down every expectation with the Panthers. I thought he was going to come back and have a good season. And he had a better season, but definitely not comeback player of the year worthy. And just, he wasn't injured, so it does put his odds lower put him at a disadvantage anyways. But yeah, I remember having Bryce Young as my comeback player of the year. And that obviously did not work out.
Yeah.
He came back. He got better.
Yes,
but,
just not enough.
Not enough.
Coach of the year. I thought the Titans were going to be really good, so I put Brian Callahan.
You were,
I was really high on the Titans.
All fair, we just talked about with Jaden Daniels sticking to our guns. You stuck to your guns with the Titans for at least the entire off season. So I gotta respect that.
Yeah, well, I said underrated squad, lots of opportunities with young quarterback, but a random assortment of offense. So they had opportunities.
Your analysis was correct. They did have an underrated squad. They had a young QB and a lot of random pieces.
It just
didn't play out.
They instead got the number 1 overall pick and a different.
Yep.
Well, honestly, Cam Moore is probably older than Will Levis.
Yeah,
but
it's probably close.
Yeah.
I think I had D'Amico Ryans again. Just big on the Texans. What they did with the first year, I thought they were just going to continue it through the second year. So I think I put D'Amico Ryans there, Coach of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for good reason. I mean, he's D'Amico Ryans. He's done great. I was really surprised 2 years ago that Stefanski won it. Of course, them making the playoffs with all those injuries, but D'Amico Ryans brought the Texans to winning their division.
Yeah.
So that was surprising.
I also thought it was interesting because the Texans beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah. All the awards are supposed to just be regular season.
That's fair. But still, I was just... I was very disappointed by that.
Yeah.
But Kevin Stefanski is an amazing coach. We talked about that a lot just in the past, I guess, 2-3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I put D'Amico Ryans, and that who got it last year?
I
I can't remember.
Let me see. I should remember. NFL Awards 2024. I was just looking at this. And Josh Allen MVP, Kevin O'Connell, which makes sense. The Vikings had a really good season.
Definitely.
Sam Darnold being the star quarterback, not what we saw. Well, that's about it for our awards predictions. Nothing crazy. No, just insane hot takes. I like, throwing Baker Mayfield out there for MVP and some fun stuff there. But
Definitely.
Nothing crazy for you here. Just some good old-fashioned analysis of football and
football news and analysis.
Ooh,
that's what we're here to do.
that is exactly what we're here to do. So there you go. That's our last of the summer episodes. So hopefully by the time this is out, we'll be close to getting back into recording episodes regularly.
Yeah.
I'm busy during the summer. Baden's busy during the summer, and so we had to pre-record some. So that's why our last two didn't talk about George Pickens and the Cowboys. Talked about it possibly happening, even though it had already happened. But please forgive us.
Yeah.
I would love for this to be what I focus on. But, I'm a college student and I work during the summer.
Yeah.
So
Stuff to be done.
Other priorities.
Still getting good stuff out to y'all.
Exactly.
Making sure making sure the fan base is taken care of.
Yes. Yes. We want
Taking
y'all
care of the listeners
to be taken care of. We want y'all to get the best football analysis in the most entertaining way too. All of it.
Exactly.
We want it for y'all. So that's what we got.
Yeah, that's what we're giving you. Best we can.
Awesome. Well, thanks for listening to the Nice Catch podcast. If you love football, continue to tune in each episode from the off season all the way through the playoffs. This is the Nice Catch podcast.